bringing some light to this?
So our Internet Crimes Against Children unit reached out to our office wanting us to put a public information out and just make the public aware that these types of things are happening. What's going on is online predators are reaching out to boys under the age of 18. They're representing themselves as teenage girls. They're asking that these boys send explicit photos of themselves. Once the boys send these photos, they extort them and tell them if they don't send money to a Cash App or send payment in the form of gift cards, that they're going to send these explicit images out to their friends, family, and schoolmates.
So how are they kind of, what's the trajectory? I know you said Instagram to Snapchat. Can you just kind of walk us through that?
Yes, so the conversation starts on Instagram, and then the individual requests that they go on Snapchat and that the boys send them the explicit photos via Snapchat. The person responsible for these takes a screenshot of the Instagram friends list and uses those as who they're going to extort. They say, we're going to send this to all of your friends on your Instagram list, including your other family members. And like I said, they request money in the form of Cash Apps and gift cards.
About how much do these money ranges go from?
So the money requests have been anywhere from $50 to $1,000. LMPD has 25 cases, at least at this point, of victims locally.
Wow. Are you able to say how old, like a specific range of the victims, age range?
Typically teenage boys, and it can go even younger than teens. So it's just really important that parents are talking to their kids about their use of social media and let their kids know that these types of things are happening, that if someone reaches out to you and asks for explicit photos, like these are really photos in general, and this person is a stranger to you, absolutely do not send them. One thing that's really important in these cases is even after the victims have paid money, these people are asking for more and more money to be paid. Once the money is paid, they still release these photos. So it is so important that parents tell their kids, do not send photos to anyone on social media or online.
And talk to me about who you believe these scammers are, where you think they're from.
So we do believe that these scams originate in other countries, that they are not present in the United States. The FBI has said that this is a national trend. It's not just locally here, but it is occurring across the nation.
How concerning is this that, kids are being targeted on social media platforms that they use probably every day?
It is very concerning because a lot of parents do give their kids unlimited access to social media. That's why it is so important for parents to talk to their kids, to monitor their children's social media, check their friends list, and even let them know, even friends of friends may not be safe to be communicating with. Do not let your children communicate without any filter. They need to be checked because these types of things are happening regularly. And like I said, there's over 24 cases here with victims locally in Louisville.
Okay, and I don't know if you can even say or speak to this, but are they concentrated in certain areas or are you finding that it's maybe a group of kids in a certain school?
No, there's not really a pattern of victimization of who they're picking. I think it's just kids that are willing to communicate freely with them, and they take advantage of that and then have those kids send explicit images. And these are not just happening to boys. That's the pattern we've seen here recently. It also can happen to girls. So if you're a parent of a daughter, you need to make sure you have these conversations with them as well. It could happen to any child, and you need to make sure that you're monitoring them and don't just assume that it's safe.
I was going to say, you mentioned only boys. I was going to ask if it happened to girls and what.
Certainly.
Parents definitely, it's not just boys. They need to watch out for everything.
Right. All kids, under the age of 18, their social media needs to be monitored. Parents need to be very vigilant because these situations are occurring. And as I spoke about, once the images are sent, these images can never be removed. And these people are not afraid to publish those images. And we don't want your kids to be victim. We don't want any kids to be victim of this. So please monitor your children's social media. Don't let them have unlimited access, and make sure that you're checking their friends list. Make sure you're not giving them just free reign on social media, because these things are happening. So many parents say, my child would never engage in that. I know my kid wouldn't be doing that. Well, we have over 25 victims here locally, which speak differently about that.
And then are you able to say, like, to parents, like, would you recommend monitoring their money accounts as well if money keeps being withdrawn?
Yes, certainly. And a lot of these scammers are requesting payment in the form of cash apps. If your children do have cash apps, I would assume that it's connected to a parental account. Please make sure you're monitoring those. If you're seeing any unusual payments going out, you want to make sure you're checking with your kids and seeing where those payments are going to, what the situation is behind those payments. So not only monitoring your children's social media, but if they do have cash apps, where all of that money is going, because that is how these scammers are requesting to be paid.
If there's a parent that finds their kid has been victimized, what do they do?
They can contact the FBI at the FBI tip line or go online and report that to the FBI as well.
And then can you kind of speak to like the challenges for you all now? You were saying earlier like it's tough to prosecute, that
Sure.
kind of thing, you know?
Since these perpetrators and these scammers are believed to be in other countries, that does make the investigations very difficult and very challenging to prosecute. So we want to be proactive. We want parents to be proactive and to stop this before it even gets to that point.
These Cash App things, I don't know, I don't even use them particularly, but is that helpful in the investigation? Are they easy to track? I mean, it's got to land someplace with an account number somewhere, right?
Sure, they're not always as simple to track as you would think. Some of the electronic sophistication overseas limits access to how far the funds can be traced. Okay. Thank you, yes.